Craig Dooley, and I'm with Levy Restaurants, Vice President of Interactive Systems.
Truls Henriksen, I'm with a company called Ecto. I'm the founder and CEO of the company.
I work for Walgreens. I'm actually on the panel this morning. I work in planning and research.
Rob Milks, I'm from Atlanta with a company called Connect Beam out of California. I'm one of the speakers this morning, and I'm going to talk about information being delivered to your desktop.
Scott Steven, GM and Executive Vice President of Playboy Enterprises.
Mark Bradford from Shock Digital Solutions. I'm the Senior Director of Product Development.
Rich Lyons, I'm the founder and president of Lyons Consulting Group.
Enterprise 2.0 is the ability to leverage people.
Way of transforming even the culture of the organization to a more open, collaborative organization.
Giving people, especially millennials in the workforce, the sort of tools that they demand to collaborate with one another.
An enhanced ability for your consumer to communicate with a brand, with a product, with a company in a much more fluid way than they have previously. Getting closer to your consumer and starting a two-way conversation and relationship with them.
It's kind of exciting, the fact that for years and years it's always been email or voice communication, but this gets closer to the heart of what people want to do.
Finding ways to allow people to collaborate in intuitive and natural ways.
So we're using Wiki, we're using Social Text, we're using Connect Beam, we're using SharePoint, so we're using the technologies, and I think we can even do a better job. And I think our challenge is, how can we stay connected to our customers? How can we have forums for our customers to talk about where we're doing a good job, the technologies they're using, and really become more of a hub?
It's given us the ability to get instant feedback. Now it's a two-way conversation between the consumer and Playboy. So they actually become an author of what the brand means much more than they previously did.
We're able to get iterations of deliverables and products done more quickly. It involves the team more. There isn't a single content owner.
It's really helped us, especially when we've got such a mobile workforce. It's a nice enabling technology to, if they need to see a report, if they need to go into a project site, get an update or whatever, all that documentation is there for them to get.
If my company has a wiki and a blog and an internal search engine, and I'm not a wiki user, then I don't get all the information. What we do is we tie all the information together from all these applications into a common area that you can search from. The new knowledge worker that's coming out of college, that's coming into the workforce, is so technically savvy and uses Facebook and MySpace every single day. And if you're not ready for them as a corporation, they're going to get bored real quick.
Visibility, accountability, control. Without this product, many of our users and customers, they really didn't know what their supply chain, how it worked, how fast they could get things done, how fast they should be able to get things done.
The biggest challenge that companies have is that they have a lot of data, but they don't have it's relevant data to one particular person. It's how do you make it relevant to everybody in the organization. So what I know today is really valuable to me, but what I can share with everybody, and so that everybody knows what I know tomorrow, is going to be valuable to my company.
Our challenge is with consultants that are always in the field, how do we stay connected? So how do we, kind of walk our walk? Because we talk to companies about keeping connected and connecting you, but how do we do it internally? So with our consultants always at client sites and other sites, we're trying to find the most creative ways through wikis, through social networking technologies, through newsletters. Like we have our own internal newsletter as well to bring people in. We're doing training. So I think the challenge always is, how do we stay connected? When you're a very small company, it's really easy, but as you grow and grow, how do you keep that feel? How do you make people know each other, know the expertise? So I think we're going to continue to use technology the best we can to keep people connected.
Buy-in both at sort of your top-line management level, but also in your grassroots level, because if you just have an executive sort of imposing a Web 2.0 technology solution, and people don't want to use it or don't have any interest in using it, you're going to find yourself, sort of with a tool out there that no one's using.
What you have to do is really think about what it is you're trying to accomplish and have a clear set of goals. I would use someone that can really think about your strategy and has a pretty broad understanding of the tools that are out there and can map those tools to your goals.
Absolutely connections to make, but I'd also like to learn how these organizations are starting to approach it. Everybody's talking about it these days, but what's the process to actually jump on board?
Be interested to hear how people are taking some of these technologies and using them externally.
I'm really interested in hearing other people's stories. I'm interested in sharing our story, and maybe that'll help a company that is just growing up.
Learn, like anybody else. I mean, I walk in here knowing some things about 2.0 and how it affects my business, but everybody has a different definition. So I learn just as much from the participants as the panelists, as somebody who's just walked in off the street and said, what does it mean to him or her?
The goal is really to bring people together to hear about how companies are using collaboration and how they're using Web 2.0 technologies within their organizations.
Welcome. Thanks for coming this morning. We really want to get to the heart of the discussion today, which was to put everyone here in touch with this group of people, the practitioners and people who are out using these technologies.
I think we're at that tipping point where we say, we've really done a very successful proof of concept with an organization that's about 100 people.
We used it primarily to get cohesiveness of our mission, of our brand.
It's collaborating in a global environment where different people that didn't know each other, didn't really even know that they were part of the same project, had to participate in creating content.
Prior to thinking about Playboy, we really looked at the value proposition for the consumer, and that was a younger adult being introduced to the Playboy brand. An 18-year-old male and female were interested in the brand. Our goal was to create a community where they can commune and interact with each other and the brand in a way that they felt safe, were used to consuming information or exchanging information. That was fun and social. What's interesting about that demographic is that they are extremely discerning and they make judgments very quickly. So if what you're putting out there they don't like, you'll know about it very quickly.
Of the Fortune 1000, 75% of them will have adopted some type of social media program, and of those, 50% of them will be declared a failure. So that's a lot of money and effort spent on focusing on your company instead of focusing on your customers. So when you're looking at this, you really want to understand who are my customers and where are they interacting today. You need to listen and look and search for what they're doing. You also need to step back and say, okay, why am I using this? What are my marketing goals? What do I expect to get out of this, and what do I expect my customers to get out of it?
Do you think that it's best to determine the likely user and then gauge the content? Or do you try to adjust the content to attract multiple segments?
In the end, you're trying to figure out what is the unmet need that you're fulfilling. So the unmet need typically in communities is sharing ideas and information. One of the key things in communities is while you set up the community to provide information, the key thing in communities is that the users are also providing information back. So you're not going to always anticipate what's going to be on there. Hopefully you'll be surprised, delighted, and learning from your users just as much as you're providing content for them.
There's a sense that in the social network, if you use the social network paradigm, that everything goes. No, it doesn't. Security, regulations, and all the things that we grew up with, perhaps they can be relaxed, they'll be modified, and the world will evolve. But some of those things are very much in play.
We want to keep this conversation going on the wiki site that we've set up.
It was really interesting to hear, Marcy talk about the research that is available. I mean, that was really hard-hitting, and it's just inspirational.
Some of the ways that companies are using the technology internally was very creative. Taking those technologies that everyone's used to socially, bringing it inside the organization, and using it to find people, find resources, really helping their employees be more efficient, more effective, and find the data they need to find.
Well, what I learned mostly was more about cultural change and how important that is to people. I think when you look at the types of questions coming out, they weren't so much technology-centric questions, but they were more people and process questions. So I think people understand the general value of the technology, but it's the question and challenge remains is how do I get my company to adopt it?
My role here today was to basically watch everyone else in my organization kind of run the event.
How did they know?
They did a great job. We're going to continue. We're going to, we have the wiki site going so people can get their questions answered and continue to ask questions. You get the shine off my forehead from the sun.
The sun, the light.
See, you got any? You're not going to be able to see anything, right? Do you have any powder? You got any powder?
Powder girls. Yeah, right.
There's a setting.
Put a hat on.
Yeah, there's a setting. Visor.
The sheen setting.